6-0. Yeah, head coach Tom Stone. Coach, do you want to give a quick opening statement, or if not, we'll just go.
No, I'm ready. Whatever y'all want to
Straight
talk about.
questions.
I guess just kind of the obvious question. I mean, after the tough draw in New Mexico, how does it feel to not only get a win, but a win like this?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we played exactly like that in Albuquerque, but the goals didn't fall and their keeper stood on our head, and that's soccer. So tonight we were just a little more persistent. Our runs were a little sharper in the box. Our service was a little more dynamic, turning the corner instead of just serving from the flanks, and I think that was the difference, getting people on the end of those serves from Macy and Kylie and Elise. It's a weapon of ours. It's not our only weapon, but it's a good weapon, and when the timing of the runs is done right, you get a lot of chances to score. And so, Ashley and Alex Kerr with 2 apiece. Most of them were off crosses, at least with 2 assists. I mean, it was a good night. For if you were forward, you were getting a lot of opportunities tonight.
Coach, speaking of those crosses, I mean, you guys were able to just consistently exploit the wide areas, get crosses into the box. Is that something you guys want to look, just building upon for the future?
Well, yeah, you got Elise, Kylie Barr, and Macy Blackburn. Like, that's a 3-player rotation. They're all 3 rocket ships. And so we want to get them in the game, but the nice thing is when teams try to take them away, then that frees up Sam or somebody up the middle. So we're not an unbalanced team that way, but when we have it out there, we feel pretty good about our chances of getting up the field with it and creating something dangerous.
Was there anything that you did differently between preparation for New Mexico versus New Mexico State? And then once you saw the differences between, rephrase. Once you saw the outcome from New Mexico, did you change anything between games, or was it the same game plan?
I mean, it was similar. They're 2 different teams.
Right.
And what New Mexico State has been really good at is they have a possession rhythm that is pretty demoralizing if you let it get going. And we just made our mind up before the game started that disrupting their rhythm was going to be a big key. And then just see what they do from there. And I think that really messed them up because they're used to having the ball a lot and they didn't have it much tonight. Rob's a smart guy, so we knew he'd make adjustments. But one was just to really be disruptive of their possession. And then I think the rest of it was mental. It's one thing to play hard like we did in Albuquerque, but to play to win is a little more than just playing hard. And tonight we played with that edge that maybe we didn't have in Albuquerque.
Right.
What'd you like about after not scoring a goal the last one? Ashley Williams and Alex Kerr not just getting one.
No, we did score the last game.
No. I mean Ashley and Alex.
Ashley,
I'm
sorry. Go ahead.
sorry about that. Ashley and Alex not getting a score each.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal with forwards, right? They're like the wide receivers in football. Their confidence goes up and down. They're always in the moment. They know the team's depending on them. There's just a lot there for them to deal with. And when they don't score, they get hungry. And when you get hungry as a forward, sometimes you start to get away from the things that make you good. You start to play out of frustration. We try to just rein that back in and redefine the runs they needed to make and kind of reiterate, look, you put yourselves in these positions. We know you can finish. That you weren't in the right positions in Albuquerque. And we just tried to focus on things they could control. And that allowed them, I think, to relax, play the game they know they can play. And both Alex and Ashley were in great spots tonight when the ball came in there for them.
Coach, for the first game, she won't really get credit for it, but Cassie just a beautiful ball over the top to find Macy, who delivered it into the box. Can you speak about the ball playing of your defenders today?
Yeah, so our 2 center backs have to be quarterbacks. They got to be playmakers. And it's been Hannah has been the obvious one.
Mm-hmm.
But Crunch has continued to work on her game because she knows this is her back line next year. And so her distribution has gone through the roof in the last 2 seasons. We're so happy for her because she's always been a great defender. She's always good in the air. I mean, she can pass, but her distribution has really gone up a level, and that ball was evidence. That was sweet. And I also want to thank Kirby Hocutt and everybody else that helped us put this field in because that ball goes out of bounds on our turf field. Tonight it just sat up nice on that grass, and Macy just took off running. So we got an assist from the field tonight, which was nice as well.
How big was it working in players off of your bench and kind of getting them into the game and getting them acclimated to playing collegiately if they were, either freshmen or transfers or anything like that?
Look, there are very few nights when you get to play everybody.
Right.
And it's the difficult thing, honestly, about coaching because we have to have these big rosters, but yet we only play 15 or 16 players a game. So when you can play 28 players, it's like, thank you, because everybody gets a shot. And we played almost our entire bench today. And a lot of players that needed minutes, like Z and Kate and Skylar, who had come off injuries, they needed the minutes. They needed to gobble up minutes. And so it's a lot. There's a lot of reasons that it's wonderful. One is to give them all a chance. 2, the starters get to rest and cheer on, the game changers. And then 3, you get people minutes that need to play their way into fitness. Like we can only run Z so much in practice.
Right. Right.
She needs to play in games. And the more game minutes she gets, the fitter she gets. Same thing with Giametta. She ran her tail off tonight. So, yeah, a lot of positives. It doesn't always happen like that. Sometimes you play just like that, you win 1-0, and you hardly used your bench, and you're like, oh, my gosh. But once we went up 3, I knew we were going to get to put some people in.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
I guess you talked about getting an assist from the field. Just how did it feel to get to play on grass for the first time?
I mean, obviously, we played all of our away games on grass, but and we liked our turf field. We had a great record on that field. We enjoyed it, but the quality of the surface that's been put down for us really, I think, accentuates the way we want to play. We want to pass the ball. We don't want the ball to fly off the field. So big assist tonight from that. It was wonderful, and the field's just going to keep getting better. It's only a month old, but we're so thankful that Texas Tech Athletics saw the need and responded, because those things aren't cheap out there, and it's not cheap to keep a field nice in West Texas. And if one thing you find from Texas Tech is they want to compete. So if they feel like there's something that's keeping you from that edge, they're going to do what they can to get it for you. So we're thankful.
Cameron Closen makes her first career appearance after a long 2-year battle on rehab. How special is that kind of moment when a kid who's spent so much time in the training room and so much time hurt gets to finally see the field?
A lot of kids that have sat literally for 3 seasons would, or 2 full seasons, would have just hung them up. I mean, they just would have been like, "This is too much. I'm back in the training room again." But Cam's not that way. There's no quit in her. She's one of the best defenders in Texas when we recruited her, and now finds herself, having to chase the ones that we had to recruit after she got hurt. And she gets on the field for the first time in 2 full years. We couldn't be happier for her, and we didn't hesitate. When the time came, we're like, "Hannah, come out, Crunch, come out. Let's put Cameron in, give her some time." And she was great. She's a ball striker, and she showed that. She can head, and she can tackle, and she did all those things. The rest of it's still going to come for her, but the foundational pieces of her game, they all showed themselves tonight. She's thrilled, and the team is obviously so happy for her.
And then lastly, for me, the crowd tonight. You have over 1,000 for the home opener, new surface, score 5 goals. Just kind of how you drew it up, huh?
Yeah, I mean, very entertaining for the fans for sure. We had a ton of high school kids on high school night come tonight. We had a lot of guys from Fraternity Row come, and because the students aren't even fully here yet, right? So that's a big crowd, over 1,000 to open the season. And here's the thing, that's what it looked like pre-COVID. Every game looked like that. And we just lost a lot of connection with the community in 2020 and 2021, and now we're getting it back, which is nice. And if they're going to show up, we might as well score a bunch of goals for them so that they enjoy watching the team.
Anything else, guys? All right, good.